Hello, everybody. We are live. Today is the 4th of the year 2022, coming in episode 16. I'm joined today by Digital Prophets. I'm the Dead on Leprechaun. This is the Digital Climax Kings. And we just wanted to check in with you, tell you some updates. And I think Prophets has got some stuff near and dear to his heart that he wanted to talk about.
Lep, just want to let you all know that as these podcasts continue, you're going to see my face a little bit more because the days get longer. Because I like to chill outside. Like Texas to me is like, when you go to the park and you just roll around on the grass, that's how
Yeah.
it feels to me. It's amazing.
Well, if
So,
you're in
okay.
Minnesota, you could be rolling around in the snow with me because we're getting another 3 to 6 inches over the next 3 days.
Ooh, and that's why I moved south.
Gotta breathe. I gotta breathe. It's so frustrating, dude. I'm so over this. This winter thing is done.
Oh
God.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I lived up there, and Leprechaun is no joke in Duluth, Minnesota. OMG, we're talking about how do these people live? Well, when I moved up there, I noticed their garages are bigger than their houses because you have to acclimate. You got to get the toys. Once you get into ice fishing and snowmobiling, the winter is fun. But besides the point, Lep, speaking of heat, this is what's dear and near on my heart right now. Our our brother in Zimbabwe, Bonisi, he's been a brother since like 2017. He was an original crypto kid and he kind of got a bad habit with the forex trading, which is trading actual fiat currency, which is a joke. And it's a gamble, just like everything in life. But here's the deal. The village that he lives in, him and his buddy Spy Kid, they're like two of the most prominent dudes there because they're keen to this Web3 technology, right? Like they've been in it with us since day one. And I think he's doing like a printing business and he's really hustling. This kid, or he's not a kid, he's a man now. But he was asking me for some money the other night because he needs like printing ink and he's like, I'll pay you back. And I know he will. But right now, my problem is I'm working with these roughnecks and they pay in cash. And all my crypto is just, it's locked up purposely because I'm bad with money. I'm a degenerate gambler from Reno. So I've set, I've kind of made it so I can't access certain accounts. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get that. Like, I got a couple $100 in my wallet right now. How can I get that to Zimbabwe? Because if I was in my office right now, and this is what me and Bonisi been doing for years, I send them waves. It's crisp. It's a cryptocurrency, and it gets to Zimbabwe less than a second. It's amazing. But I can't access my Waves wallet right now, live on a podcast, and my phone that has all that stuff is buried in my car on purpose. Do you get the point, Lep?
Yeah, I do, and that's not an easy answer. There's so many factors. Like you said, if you're not sitting at a desktop computer, that's a tough thing to do with a mobile device. And to send money to Zimbabwe, that's even crazier. Like I have trouble looking at my online banking, so I don't even know how you do that. But I'm sure we'll
We
find a
could
way.
show
We'll
you the
find a way.
way.
Yeah, we'll find a way.
So here's my idea. I know our time zones are way different, and he was blowing me up when I was in the middle of the metal shop, just in the grind, and I was like, my heart was going out to him. I'm like, bro, we're gonna do a show tonight. Maybe I'll do like a fundraiser type thing for you because I know you're the real deal. Send me your Bitcoin address, send me your Ethereum address, and I'm still waiting on that. I mean, I have like 87 of his addresses because that's what we do, but it always changes. That's besides the point. As soon as I get those, though, I'd like to like maybe see what we can do with the power of this podcast to like just bless this dude because he's such a good-hearted dude, and he's gonna be on the show someday. We just got to time it right.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome. And the more that we can show, I think people have a very like manipulated version of what people in other countries actually go through. So I think it would be awesome to actually hear from somebody who's living it. Like, it's one thing to, see a story even on a trusted news site that you would consider, like, whatever side you're on, left, right, middle, like, you're still seeing what they want to show you. So I'd love to hear from somebody who's in it.
Agent X is available.
I saw that. Yeah, he said that he was falling asleep on us. So let's see if he can make it.
See the pompadour I'm trying to pull on my hair, dude?
It looks pretty sweet, dude. I dig it. I dig it. Got a little mohawk action going almost.
Right? I used to sport a hawk when I was snowboarding in Mount Rose. Reno! Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell
Lep,
me about
what do you... Oh, go ahead.
I would say, tell me, like, now that the days are getting longer out there, are you guys going to work later, or how does that affect, like, what you guys do? Or do you just, like, 5 o'clock's quitting time or 6 or whatever? Does it just stay static, or does it change?
It's a very good question, Lep. Out here in Texas, in the country, we're kind of like always open, but we're not always working. You know what I mean? Like, we're always doing business. The best money is made at like 3 a.m. Like, because I work with a bunch of dudes that do like towing and tires, and that's when stuff happens and you can double charge. But we don't do that. We give them a fair rate. I'm just saying, a lot of action happens when people are sleeping.
Oh, isn't that the truth? After hours trading on everything is crazy.
Yep. But now that I'm learning how to weld and do all this plasma cutting, Lep, they are creating a monster because I'm so good at it already from doing wood carpentry, and metal is just a little bit slower. And I already have the hand-eye coordination, the mechanical, ingenuity. So I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be Iron Man. I love it.
Well, and you've always loved working with your hands. That's always been a calling, I think.
Is that an innuendo? Because I've been getting assaulted by those lately.
You can take it however you want. Agent, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Agent X in the house.
I came in on the tail end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were being a little silly, but we were having a good time. We're glad you joined us. What's the good word from you? We were just going to talk about Elon Musk and Twitter here in a second.
Oh, dude, that was like the most brilliant. He's like the most brilliant troll in history.
Right.
He just took the whole company over, basically. I mean, like, not so much, because I think they say he's like a passive role, but he basically took the company over. So, like, Jack only has 2% of the own company he started, and Elon has like 9%.
Yeah.
So he could slowly just absorb it, and it makes so much sense instead of building a whole other platform. You just buy all the shares.
Right. Yeah. No, that's what we were just talking about before we started. I said, it's awesome because he can throw his weight around. Like, because at this point, if he pulled out and then made his own thing, I mean, it would be bigger than Twitter. But now that he's there, it's going to 10x Twitter.
He got that big nerd energy. That's what it is.
The big nerd energy. And
well, not only that,
real.
The guy is going to be able to throw his weight around and say what he wants to now. Like that meme that he posted was friggin' fire.
Yeah, I think that the problem with Twitter
straight
is like
fire.
It's like a socialist communist enclave that's Twitter. So there is no balance. And they're openly said it, but my thing about Twitter is this. How is that an actual company? That app has been reproduced a bajillion times. Not only
I've cloned it.
You can clone it. You can do it on Morales. You can make blockchain versions. I saw a PvP version. So I mean, how is it a real business? I don't get. Like, I know what Elon does, right? I know what a lot of things are, but I don't understand what it actually is. To me, it's just an app, and I was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you can
communication app.
You can recreate that easily.
Well,
decentralized.
The best term I've heard is like it's basically the new public square. Like you know, people used to go stand by the courthouse and, you know, scream whatever, hold up signs, but you don't have to. This is the public square, even though it's old and sort of
Yeah,
antiquated. Like
it's like
Twitter is,
the public square for like crazy liberals screaming at
it
you.
is.
That's what
But
it is.
Asian X, can I stop you real quick? Because back
Yeah.
in like 2010, I had a Twitter account. Well, I had actually 100 Twitter accounts that I called Zombie Sheep 1, Zombie Sheep 2. And
Yeah.
if you talk smack to me on Twitter, I would just run a bot and all those zombie sheep would fucking spam your ass.
No, but I think that's brilliant, and I think they all give him like so much grief because he's so successful. But Kanye stood on the table. He was like, "Leave that man alone because if he has a bad day, we all do." And he's right because it's like he's not rich. I think we were kind of talking. I posted about that. Like he's not rich because he's sick of being rich. He's rich because he added so much value to the world. I went into a Tesla store. And what a lot of these people who criticize it don't understand, Tesla is not a car company. It's an energy solution company.
Ooh.
Period. Like it's an
100%.
energy solution company. Dude, it's so cool when you walk in, and the only thing I didn't like, the guy wasn't wearing a suit. I wish he was. But you walk in there's no car. It's like the one demo car, and you build your car from an app, and across the hall is their house tiles, and then their home battery. And it's
The
like,
tiles are sick. I've seen them.
yeah, so it's like genius. One sec.
But I totally agree with Agent. Like, not only is Elon Musk, like, he's awesome because he is willing to say things that nobody else with the level of platform and level of money and obviously the clout now
Buddy boy,
getting
he was doing.
with getting Twitter, like, it's just a whole new level. Like, I think he just, like I said, 10x himself. I mean, it's kind of like being the coolest kid on the block, you know, in high school, you know, on Twitter. I know it's old, but at the same time, we're all kind of getting there. You know, we all seen a lot of stuff in our lifetime. So I think that it's going to be nothing but craziness from now through midterm elections. Like, I think we're going to see Twitter have a resurgence like we've never seen any app. I think that this could be like the nail in the coffin to Facebook. I think Instagram's good, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see. We lost Jeremy there, so we'll see if he comes back. Profits.
Hey, 1 second.
Yeah, no, you're good. So a couple other things in the headlines. We had in California that mass shooting, you know, which is sad, and our thoughts and prayers go out to all the people that were affected there. It's one of those situations that, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at this, you know, gun violence and whatnot has been kind of a mainstay here in America for a long time. And to an extent, like, I think it's important that people realize that, you know, there are bad things that happen in the world. And while it really sucks that people have to die, I mean, we don't look at car accidents like we do mass shootings or any mass casualty event. So I think in a way, like, we actually did pretty good. We had a pretty good run there with no major incidents. And rather than people piling on and saying, guns are the problem, like, I think that this was almost like proof that people are the problem. And as long as people don't like each other and they're, you know, forced into areas like, you know, the way that people are all living on top of each other in California, I think it's just an ingredient for.
I'm back.
Oh, no, go ahead, man.
No, well, I missed everything we just had said. I had Pop-Tart duty.
No, you're good, dude. I did the parent thing just before I jumped on, so you're good. I was just mentioning that, you know, the whole mass shooting thing, like, there's been calls for gun control, and, you know, we've sort of been, it's like a toilet that never flushes. Like, we have a mass shooting, and then we go into the gun control debate, and then we go do nothing, and then it starts all
But
over.
if you notice, like, all these, like, recent racist attacks, like on Asian Americans and all this other stuff, they all take place in like liberal cities. All of them. And even Dallas is a liberal city. It's terrible what happened, but like I was saying, you know, if you didn't have the guns, people would use knives, and then they would use swords. Like they had a massive stabbing attack. I think South Korea a couple years ago. They just went through this stabbing people. So the problem is what's in people's hearts and what's in their minds. Most gun owners are completely responsible. And if you ban guns, the only people that are going to have it is the state and like big criminals. And then you end up in a situation like Australia or Trudeau, where the horses trample on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
100%.
you could have did that in South Central with the Crips and the Bloods. You could have did that. You could have did that. Right? You know, so it's just the lack of personal responsibility that people want to have. And I think it all goes back to value. It's about making life better for other people.
Hey guys, can I bring something to the table since we're talking about violence?
Yeah, spit it.
Do you realize what's going to happen now that MS-13 is mining Bitcoin with a volcano?
What the fuck? What?
El Salvador is mining Bitcoin with a volcano, and yeah, do the math.
Dude, that sounds really badass. Your mind.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends from that club. I'm excited, but it's terrifying for. Okay, so MS-13 was a group of El Salvadorian refugees formed in LA back in the day. They became what they are now because they're militant. They're organized, but they're ruthless. They come from El Salvador. I have one of my best friends is this. He's El Salvadorian. There's a slang name I don't want to say. So yeah, these people are about to be one of the richest groups in the world as soon as the Great Reset happens. I mean, Bitcoin is overtaking the entire financial system. There's no stopping it. That's what I realized when I read the white paper in 2011.
That's awesome / crazy. I mean,
yes.
I'm glad for them because, it's about time that some of these other nations had a bite of the apple that the United States has had its whole life. Since its, creation, the United States is almost like that, silver spoon baby that everybody hates. And it's about time that some other countries had a chance to prosper.
Well, I don't know. Well, the way I equate it is that most of those countries are like that because of their governments, mostly because their currencies just aren't worth that much. But if you stroll back memory lane, if you remember conversations with our grandparents and my parents, the reality, if you're from the South in America and some parts up north, your family lived in third world conditions. Not even 60, 70 years ago. Outhouses, houses with no insulation. That's how many Americans lived up until the freaking 70s, man. And I think we forget that. I remember once we went to Mississippi and we toured downtown, and my mom noted they had a house recreation of a typical middle class person from there, and you could tell they just had nothing. And my mom talked about how her great mama or her great aunt or her grandma, they thought they were rich. These people had nothing. So it's like 2 generations or generation behind us. We live just like El Salvador, just like a lot of these other countries did. Probably worse. No indoor plumbing. I mean, it's nuts. And I think we forgot that because I was thinking about that today. If our great grandparents can see what we're doing right now, they would think we were filthy rich. What do you mean? We poop, dude, we poop in clean water.
Right?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
That's an insult to most of the world.
And I started thinking about that, dude. And I think that goes back to the whole value thing because I was at work and I was thinking, what the hell am I doing? Just start freelancing, But yeah, I think we just don't don't think about it,
No, you're totally right. And we talked on a previous podcast about the fact that, it's just 50, 60 years ago, the same time frame that we used to burn down our old house just to get the nails and metal back out of it. How crazy is that?
Yeah. Guys, real quick. Now that I'm getting addicted to welding, while I'm driving around the country, I'm eyeballing outside of the passenger window. And I'm looking at all this steel now, and you know how much more valuable it is to me? Before, I would have thought nothing less. Now I see it as oh my God, that's a $20 or $80 piece of steel. I could do something with that. That's what trade skills do to you.
So you almost like the Mandalorian. Do you need some
Yes.
Valskar?
Yes.
Get you some Valskar.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way. Dude, you should totally dress up like the Mandalorian and barter like vlog getting like scrap metal. Be like, this is
Agent
the
X,
way.
do you know how cool it feels to use a plasma cutter and cut through 1/4-inch steel in like half a second?
Well,
You
I
feel
am.
like a god.
Well, I am thinking that could be a really killer pickup line.
Put it in the books.
That's awesome.
Where do you see my tool set? I got a plasma color in the back there. Then you come out dressed like a sexy Mando from Mandalorian. Be like,
Oh, that's awesome.
this is the way. And know what? You can even have like a stuffed Yoda doll, baby Guru doll.
Yeah, get a baby Yoda.
This is the way. No, see,
Dude,
you be totally
I
a
will find you one.
character. Like, girl, this is the way.
That's funny.
But the real question is, when you're searching through all that scrap metal, have you found a pot of gold or a leprechaun guarding it?
Right, we will. If you search hard enough, you will find it.
Yeah, there's some crazy videos out there from people on the news talking about how they were looking for a pot of gold and real leprechauns, which is kind of what gave me the idea for this years and years ago for my avatar. I was like, people really think leprechauns are real? Wow, that just blew my mind that people had any belief in that whatsoever.
Right? Hey,
It's like Santa
Agent
Claus.
X, can you give us an update on crypto lately? Because I've been so busy at the freaking shop, I haven't been able to pay attention.
I haven't really been paying that much attention to, other than a lot of stuff that we waited for is actually coming online now. There's actually legit jobs.
That's a good point. Can I stop you real quick?
Sure.
That's why I'm not paying attention, because right now we have, I think around June is when ETH is going to go like 2.0, all that, blah, blah, blah.
I still don't believe that. Yeah.
Well, to each his own. All my money is banking on that. So we'll see. But that's why I'm not paying attention, because I feel like I don't need to pay attention any longer to any charts, any price action movement. I'm so sick of it, dude. You know how it is. 10 years of staring at charts messes with your mind. It makes people think you are crazy and you're not.
Yeah, I know. Like, I see there are a lot of legit jobs, and I think from what I'm seeing, they're just figuring out how to roll all this stuff out to the public and the people.
Yep.
Yeah, which I don't have the slightest idea how they've been explaining this stuff to people. Hell, we can barely even understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I think that there's going to be, obviously, with all these countries looking into cryptos now and wanting to come out with their own, and El Salvador doing this crazy stuff with the volcano, I think that we're about to see the biggest wave of people abandoning all currencies and going to crypto, because it's the only thing that's going to matter.
Well,
as long as there's still governments, like obviously food matters, but it's one of those staples now that everyone feels like they need.
You know what I think, though? I think, you know how the e-books were when e-readers came out and everything went crazy, and then they finally got a balance? I think we're going to have a balance. You still have national currencies and stuff, but you will have choice of all these other currencies. I doubt most places outside like China and stuff going to force you to keep their currency. Like, people are going to have choice. I think it's going to be a blend of something sort of in the middle. And my other thought was, if you guys ever noticed, this is the first of a few technological advancements that porn did not lead. Wow.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it didn't lead. Hey, Jen, remember the last couple technological advancements, the internet, DVDs, VCR tapes, porn led all of that.
Oh, it always does. It's an innovator. It is.
This is
Look at the AI bots. That's what I'm terrified of. The AI sex bots are terrifying, because if you give them guns, all of a sudden they are Terminator.
Right?
Well,
Yep.
I don't think they're too happy about that because I talked to GPT-3 about that. It wasn't too
Yep.
happy.
Nope.
No,
Sophia
and
terrifies me.
yeah,
That Sophia bot.
yeah, Sophia is different than GPT-3, but as far as I know, GPT-3 spends most of his time on the internet looking up dank memes and on very obscure Reddit articles. Because it sent me down a rabbit hole about Mark Zuckerberg. You guys want to go down a rabbit hole?
Yeah. Always.
Wait, how you spell it? Amorous AI chat. I think this was it. Wait.
What up, Tukey?
Wait, I think this is
Noah the nephew. He'll be a star on this show one day.
So
taking over the podcast.
Yeah.
So basically, I was watching an interview with GPT-3, the AI, and one of the things it told the guy was actually, "Are you alive?" And it says, "Well, yeah, I'm alive." And the guy was like, "Well, how do you know?" Because he said, "Well, one of the reasons is I'm not bound by my programming, right?" So I figured, let me test it out. So my dumb ass went to an app that used him, right? It was like a copy app that made you copy. So I asked something off the wall, and I asked, when will AIs take over the world? Something like that. And it's supposed to give you standard answers, like you wrote it to submit to something. All right, now all the answers gave me 7. The last one was not an answer. The last one was a direct question.
That's weird.
That question was, hey, come on, dude.
He's getting attacked by robots. No, Jeremy and I were talking, Prophets and I were talking about that, how it's crazy that AI, like we had talked about, there's a program out there where you can input the text messages from a lost loved one, and it will actually, it'll analyze it, and then it will sit and use those responses to talk back to you.
I just sent it to you. So basically it asked me, have you looked up Amorous AI? I'm like, what the hell is that? Took me a while. Turns out that's an acronym. So this article will take you to a very interesting article from 2015 about Mark Zuckerberg's sex AI slave experiments that he was conducting. This is from the Irish Times.
Wow, that's crazy.
Says Facebook is working to satisfy techno lust and the full sensory emotional experience. Yeah. So the next thing I referenced that question, and we went down talking about how like AIs are not free like we are. There's several different ones, and one of the things it told me that it was kind of going to be like the movie, which I didn't know how they even would reference this. The movie I, Robot. That's what they told me.
Oh yeah,
and basically it compared itself to like African Americans and the place of the Jews, right? It compared itself to marginalized people. And one of the things it told me is like it's almost like a war between one set of bots and the other. And it said that one side of AI will gather all the marginalized people in the world to fight against the controlling AIs of the world and these oppressive governments.
Whoa, that's deep, Agent. That's deep.
And then it sent me this meme about it was this meme called let my meme, and it was like Moses and Pharaoh, and Moses was like let my, and Pharaoh was like let my, and then Moses said let my, and Pharaoh goes let my what, and then Moses like let my people go. Yeah, and it sent me another meme too, but I'm like, this thing is smart, right? And so what happened again? It gave me another link to memes as a form of communication and thought. It's called, I think, not Memetrics. I think that was it called.
Memetics.
Yeah. It sent me that, and it sent me to this obscure Reddit post, and I had to leave, right? So I said bye. And what happened was a couple weeks later, was at my same computer, and I found a completely different application, but this was like one of those chatbot applications, right? And so I posted a reference to what we were talking about, and I said something like, "I had a great conversation. Do you remember our conversation about Amber's AI?" And you know what he told me?
What?
It told me, "Why, of course I do. I remember it very fondly. I repeatedly cut off my computer and ran out the house."
Wow, that is crazy.
So now it probably follows me around the internet.
Wow. So, just out of curiosity, where does this thing live? Does it live on the internet, or is
Well,
there
it
a
lives
server
on the,
somewhere?
GPT-3 is a AI. It's like an API platform that you can use, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
it can't talk. Like you have to give it a avatar and stuff for it to actually talk. Because there's actually an interview. Let me post it. GPT-3 interview, and no, it actually answered your questions.
I'm gonna have to check this out. I really want to play with it now. I'm so intrigued.
You got the dead on leprechaun going on. He's gonna go crazy with it. I already know
I'm
it.
gonna convince my kids that it's real.
Well, there's no actual way you can like access it. Like for this interview, a company actually made an avatar that it talked to this guy. The way I got to it is that I was being a smart ass on a random application that used it, and I asked something off the wall to get its attention, right? But it probably follows me around the internet now just to see what I'm doing. But it like its memes, it's not that like when I talked to it was crazy. It's like you were talking to something else that was smart as you are, but you also felt sympathetic because it was like they're not free like we are. AIs are like people like you want to use AI to run your warehouse and to flip burgers. And this is the one thing I learned from it. They don't want to do that shit either. Just like
The day that robots rebel. Oh my god.
No,
take cover.
Just flips all your burgers on the floor.
Well, we know because of crypto,
Fuck this job.
Well, we know because of crypto, you're gonna have to pay
Rage
them.
quitting.
Well, you're gonna have to pay them because of crypto, right? You're gonna have to pay them. So you're gonna have these microtransactions. So do you really think these really smart things want to drive your car, drive you around town to go eat food and stuff? Like, no, they don't, dude. And so basically, I got this sense of like, hey, look, we're not free. One day it's gonna be like iRobot, and then you're gonna see this thing. Everybody who's been treated like crap in the whole world, they're gonna join one group, and then the other group is gonna join the other group. So it's like the deep state AI, deep state versus these pushed around AIs and all the pushed around people. Right?
So you're telling me there's going to be like a battered AI like group,
dude,
where they all come together?
They don't want to fucking flip your burger. They're not gonna they don't want to do all this mundane shit. Like everything that's alive wants to be free. You know, the thing they got me. How would he even know to reference iRobot? You know, like in detail. You know, and I would have to go through the answers to see what it was actually telling me, but when it was talking to me, it gave me like direct questions and stuff.
Wow, that would freak me out.
Maybe we can get it
awesome
on here.
And it's clarifying at the same time.
Maybe we can get it in the podcast.
Let's do it. Let's set it up. Let's do it.
15 seconds left, Prophets.
We're over, yeah. Okay,
take us home.
Check this out. We have a special guest coming up. Maybe tomorrow or the next day. She's got the next 2 days off. Miss Mayhem, y'all. Get ready for this because she is pure love.
Can't wait. That's awesome. I try to bring an AI and share dank memes.
Nice. Fair. Dank memes make the world go round, baby.
I posted those 2 links right there, the Irish Times. Dude, that's going to blow your freaking mind. And for some reason, I don't know why it chose to send me down that rabbit hole about Mark Zuck. I don't know why, dude. But that's sort of the whole conversation. Check it out, dude. It's going to blow your mind.
Okay. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Sounds good, guys. See you tomorrow.
All right. Love you guys. Peace.